point. Life imitating art there. On the left is Mitchell International Airport. On the right is Masterlock. Let's go to Ben Handelman. You're out there, Ben. The Air Force One has now touched down. Set the scene for us.
It is just impressive. Can you imagine what the president saw coming in this morning, seeing Milwaukee? He came in like everybody else does, and anybody who's been on a plane knows that view of Milwaukee right over the lake. And what a beautiful day. The weather just clearing up perfectly. And this is one of the most recognizable symbols of the free world, Air Force One. Of course, it's got the president's symbol underneath. And, you know, Mordecai Lee can probably talk about this. George Bush, during September 11th, talked about the difficulties he had on that plane. So they made some big changes. That is now a mobile command unit. They really made some big upgrades. So if anything were to happen on the ground, if you remember President Bush was flying all over the country during September 11th, trying to get good communication, well, that's no longer really the problem. Big upgrades to this plane. And yes, not a whole lot of 747s coming into Mitchell International Airport. So this is just an impressive view as it comes towards the media. We will have the governor is on the tarmac as well as the mayor. It should be noted, Gwen Moore, Congresswoman, tweeted out earlier she is actually on that plane. And you guys were talking about how special it is to ride Air Force One. Well, she got a free trip back to Milwaukee riding right along with the president. It'll be interesting to see if she comes out with the president or if she comes out down the side. And some other people that ride along with the president are, of course, his senior advisors. There's members of the press that will be shoved into these vans. They don't get as nice a ride as the president. There's two limos, those brand new limos that we were talking about. We believe those were flown in. And here a final turn in for the president here. But just a very impressive sight out here, guys.
Ben, from where you are, can you see the welcoming party of the mayor and the governor and the Colonel Mayo from the 128th?
The mayor was briefly actually on, he was hanging out with the media, shaking hands with us. I have not seen the governor, although his staff is here. So actually, I lie, they're right in front of me. Sometimes it's the obvious place. They're actually right down, we're on the end of where the media is. So yes, they are all here with Mike Mayo at the 128th Air Refueling Wing. They will walk out in just a few minutes. And actually, the mayor and the governor are chatting right now, having a couple. This is an interesting moment, just chatting about the plane, it seems, as they look as President Obama and this impressive 747 Air Force One make their way in. But yes, they are standing side by side, having an intimate conversation right now as it gets very loud as the plane comes forward.
And they are just coming into our camera view, so we are now, Ben, seeing what you're seeing there. Mayor Tom Barrett on the right. There's Governor Walker and, of course, Lieutenant Colonel Mayo from the 128th, the closest to our camera there. As we pan up, they're a lot closer to the plane than I actually thought they'd be.
Yeah. And Governor Walker, we're told, fighting a bit of the flu today. He was supposed to accompany the president to Masterlock, but it sounds like he'll cut that part of his trip short. The governor, that is, to get on the mend. But nice to have him there now, of course, as he will greet the president once he steps outside that plane. Ben, talk a little bit about the security. Of course, that's a given on any plane, but security particularly high this morning at Mitchell International.
I think you guys asked me about security. The plane is so loud I can barely hear you. We did see the Secret Service on the tarmac early and often. They obviously this side of the airport was really shut down all day, but there are some snipers up on the roof. The motorcade is now making its way out towards the plane. The Secret Service was here bright and early. Those guys obviously well dressed with all their sunglasses, but a lot of the security you actually can't see. I remember the first time covering Air Force One, actually my IFB, which is the earpiece that I can hear you, as soon as the president walked out, my IFB went dead, which I was assuming was some of the security that I couldn't see. So we are seeing lots of Secret Service down on the tarmac, but it is interesting to note some of the stuff you can't see.
And it is interesting to note that your IFB, for those viewers who are wondering what TV terminology we're using, those are the little earpieces we have in our ear. And interesting, they're made by a Waukesha company, which also makes them for the Secret Service here. So I don't think anyone's going to confuse Ben with Secret Service because he doesn't have the right credentials. But okay, Ben, I know it's loud there, so we're gonna let you go for a moment and bring back in more.